Warning: the following episode contains discussions of sensitive topics, including sex, abuse, and trafficking. Viewer discretion is advised. Hi, I'm Stephanie Anderson, a hair loss professional, a speaker, advocate, and best-selling author. And I want to talk to you about alopecia is a thing, breaking through the BS or the belief systems. This is a groundbreaking book that delves deep into the truths about alopecia that have been long misunderstood. Are you or someone you know affected by this condition? Then this book is a must-read for you. In this eye-opening read, you will uncover the causes, the symptoms, and emotional support options for alopecia like never before. Say goodbye to misconceptions and discover practical tips and advice that have empowered countless individuals to reclaim their confidence and embrace their true selves. But the journey doesn't stop there. Alopecia is a thing goes beyond facts and figures, and it's a collection of powerful personal stories from real people who have triumphed over alopecia. Their inspiring journeys will touch your heart and show you the incredible resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity. Whether you're personally affected by alopecia or seeking to better understand it, this book is your essential guide. It's a beacon of hope and empowerment for anyone willing to open their minds to new perspectives and possibilities. Don't miss out on this transformative read. You don't have to be a woman or man losing your hair to understand this book, but you must have an open mind too. And if you're ready to take control of your life and regain your confidence, then Alopecia is a Thing is a perfect resource for you. And let's journey towards, if not a hairier, but emotionally healthier future together. Human trafficking is the exploitation of men, women, and children for labor or sex using force, fraud, or coercion. Labor trafficking and exploitation can happen in any industry. Several industries regulated by Texas Department of Licensing and Regulations, or TDLR, which I am governed of as a business owner, including nail salons, hair salons, and massage establishments, have known nexus with human trafficking. Hi, I'm Stephanie Anderson, and welcome to the Main Health Show. Today, I have the pleasure of having Mrs. soon-to-be Dr. Lorena P Frey as my guest. She is an international TEDx speaker. We're going to talk about that. A best-selling featured speaker and author, human rights advocate for refugee survivors of trafficking, founder of Immigration Diagnostic Evaluations Academy, and director of the IRIS Academy. You're going to have to give me the acronym for that. She currently networks with community, state, and other government agencies to assist survivors of human trafficking with special emphasis on children and adolescents. By bringing awareness to human trafficking and the correlation with refugees and immigrants being trafficked across the borders. She works with federal government agencies affiliated with the UN, the United Nations, a contributor to ARC, which is Association, the Recovery of Children, and an advocate for human rights and other agencies advocating for the physical and emotional recovery of victims of trafficking around the world. Welcome, Miss Lorena Frey, to the Main Health Show. First,
thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for accepting the invite. You're going to want to know, how do I know this lady who has accomplished so much? I was afforded, I guess it was last year, we were invited to collaborate as co-authors on a book entitled The Gifts of Pain. And we were able to just to become, have a relationship with compiling the book, and then finally was able to meet. And that's how I found out the fascinating job that Lorena does with human trafficking and her platform. The book that I'm talking about that we collaborated, can you talk a little bit about The Gifts of Pain?
Yes. So the main author that put the book together is Dr. Elena Fernandez.
Yes.
What she did was she compiled stories from 30 authors.
Yes.
And The Gifts of Pain. What is pain? Well, it specifically contributed to traumas we go through, and the gifts, the lessons we've learned from those traumas.
Yes.
So the interesting thing I can say is that each one of us has a story to tell, a story that compels people to know they're not alone.
Yes.
They're not alone in their trauma, not alone in their I guess you could say journey to healing.
Yes,
which
exactly.
is a huge component of the book.
Yes.
And so I have a chapter in this book. As a matter of fact, volume 2 is coming out.
Yes.
There was a lot of need for books like this.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Dr. Lina Fernandez is just a visionary in her concept, because who would think that pain is a gift?
Yeah.
But she helped us to understand how we could contribute.
Mm-hmm.
And we were a part of Volume 1, and I believe that you're a part of Volume 2, which
Yes.
I am anticipating the publishing
Yes.
of that. So thank you for that. Thank you for your friendship and everything. And thank you for being a part of the show today. What I'm here to talk about today, and talk as you feel free. I know you just got back from, listen, ladies and gentlemen, from Zimbabwe. This is an international TEDx speaker. And on the platform, she was able to share her message and how she overcame and has become an advocate. So share as much as you're willing to about your story and your journey and how you became an advocate for human trafficking.
My story begins in childhood. A lot of times, people don't understand that children that are trafficked come from many different walks of life. There are no boundaries to say it's only these type of kids or these type of children. So I was a runaway.
Yeah.
And when I was on the streets, I met a lot of people, obviously, but one particular person I met directed me to stay in a home with a woman, beautiful, amazing person that took in runaways. So being in that home, again, coming from a house where there was mental, emotional, physical abuse, there's vulnerabilities in us. And when children, young people, minors have those vulnerabilities, it opens the door for these predators to know how to reach into those empty spaces
to
that
groom
we have.
you.
Yes.
Yes.
And that's how grooming is effective. So meeting this woman, she became the mother figure that I never had.
Yes.
She was just, I looked up to her. And so unfortunately, little by little, being in that position where I lacked this maternal figure in my life, she replaced that and made me feel great.
Yes.
There was no verbal abuse, none of what I experienced in the past. It was just the greatest life. I thought, wow, this is great. And so unfortunately, she introduced us to drugs. So there was more than myself.
Yes.
And when she did that, the grooming process just kind of kept going until it became a point where we were being trafficked.
Yes.
So, we ended up in that cycle, drug addiction and trafficking, and it took a lot.
Yes.
To get out of that.
Yes.
But it's interesting talking about these things. A lot of times people say, oh gosh, you're doing great.
Yes.
Healing has started. I have crossed that bridge of
Yes.
to healing.
Yes.
But
It's
those
still a
parts
process.
of, yes, those parts of the pain,
Yes.
they're
Yeah.
still there.
Yeah.
And they do tap into that because we're human.
Of course.
That is actually something that we're able to say pushes us to
Yes.
do what our passion is. What's my passion? Helping others heal
Yes.
from the past.
Yes.
And if I could say, many of us have difficulty healing
Mm-hmm.
because we need the apology from the abusers. We need to feel that we're human.
Yes.
We want to hear the sorries.
Yes.
We want to hear that
But
from our
what
abusers.
when they don't come? You've taught
Yes,
yourself to know
yes.
the importance that if those apologies do
Yes.
not come, what is it that you say?
Okay. So, and this is where I get my TED Talk, my
Yes.
TEDx talk rather. My TEDx talk.
The TED Talk is coming.
Yes. And
Uh-huh.
the book, both volumes in my chapter, talk about what do you do when there is that empty space
Mm-hmm.
that we needed to hear the abuser say, I am sorry
Yes.
for what I did.
Yes.
So the most powerful words are the words that we
Mm-hmm.
need to hear. We deserve to hear them.
Yes.
Yet, in many cases, especially in trafficking, we are not going to
No.
hear those.
Mm-hmm.
And perhaps we were pushed out of our homes because of what was happening in our home,
Mm-hmm.
where even in our own home, we may not hear those apologies.
Yes.
The people that abused us in our life may not
Ever.
get there.
Yes.
So that leaves us with these needs,
Mm-hmm.
the need to hear that, but it's not going to come.
Yes.
Unfortunately,
Mm-hmm.
holding on to that causes a lot of damage.
It's toxic.
Mentally, yes, mentally, emotionally, physically. And so what do you do with that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you could carry it with you and make yourself sicker.
Yes.
I carried that with me for many years.
Yes.
I wanted and needed to hear my abusers just apologize
Yes.
or even acknowledge.
Yeah. What they did.
Yes.
Yeah.
But knowing that was never going to come,
Mm-hmm.
I was becoming sicker and sicker.
Yeah.
Not just mentally, I had depression,
Physical.
suicidal ideation,
Yeah.
but I was actually medically sick.
Yes.
And I've talked to you about ACEs, adverse
Yes.
childhood experiences,
Yes.
how much that affects us. That deals with the trauma we suffered in our
And
past.
a child. Yes.
Yeah. And that trauma becomes toxic in our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the need for me to not reach what some people would call that closure from trauma,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not there anymore.
Yes.
I'm married. I have children. I have a
Yes.
career.
Yes. A good life.
Right? And I'm helping
Mhm.
survivors of trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, why can't I help myself?
Yes.
It was because I was holding on to that,
Mm-hmm.
the need for those apologies.
Yes.
Till one day, I thought, what actually started
Uh-huh.
as a letter to, I was feeling very suicidal.
Okay.
I could say it was a letter kind of saying, I love everyone.
Mm-hmm.
It's not you, but I
Mhm.
can't do this anymore.
Yes.
And it ended up being a letter of what I needed my abusers to say.
Yes.
And the most powerful words are, and I'll tell you what I said in my speech.
Yes.
And it's also part of my chapter and the future book that I'm working on.
Okay.
What we need to hear is, when you hear the words, I am sorry,
Mm-hmm.
it was not your fault.
Yes.
I'm sorry for allowing others to hurt you,
Yes.
and you're worthy.
Yes.
Those are some powerful words.
Oh, I got chills.
And that's what we need to hear.
Yes.
And once we hear those words, it's as if there's vindication.
Mm-hmm.
There's that release.
But even not hear the power of those words,
Mm-hmm.
even though you didn't hear it from the people who owed it to you,
Yeah.
just those words alone were like a soothing balm to you.
Absolutely.
And hopefully, because sometimes we attach blame to ourselves for things that we're blameless for. So if there was any level of you blaming yourself for falling into that, when people groom you, they're smart people.
Oh, yeah.
They know what you lack. They read you. But you were just going after. How could you not do anything for someone who was so kind for you?
Right.
The kindness that you were yearning for from your family.
Yes.
How could you not? So I'm so glad that you forgave yourself. I'm so glad that you
Yes.
even forgave them, even
Yes,
without them
absolutely.
offering you that apology.
Right.
Because it was healing for you.
Yes.
Physically, spiritually,
Yeah.
and it's allowed you to do some marvelous things in helping others and being an advocate. Would you please, and take as much time as you need to share the phenomenal work that you do alongside your husband in advocating and even training others to please?
Okay, yeah. So my husband and I, we do national and international conferences on the awareness of trafficking.
Yes.
And one of the things that we've been blessed to be able to do is bring this message to not just families, young people, but to many other platforms, medical, law enforcement, and others. So they've been able to hear what signs to look for and what also to understand if there is a survivor that perhaps is within their own circle.
Yes.
My husband and I, one of the conferences we go to, he introduces the subject and he tells everyone, he says, well, there's a survivor here that's going to talk about their story. Well, he's showing pictures of what society believes a survivor should look.
The stereotype.
Exactly. So I am there, You've seen me with my nerdy glasses and
I have.
And I am checking people in. So everyone that comes in,
they've come in contact with you.
Sometimes over 100 people.
Yes.
I'm checking everyone in. And so he's introducing the topic and he tells everyone, he says, okay, he's like, well, you've probably come across, met her here. They look around. Yeah, and he says, and as a matter of fact, each one of you came across in contact with her. And so he says, will you come up, please, Lorena? Well, he says, Lorena, will you come up? Well, I am the announcer for him as well. My husband's here. And so when he comes to the front, and I'm still there with my little packet, they think I'm just the announcer. They're still kind of like,
where is this survivor?
Where's the survivor that's going to talk about the story? And he says, here she is. We literally see people kind of just, you see
they never would have known.
No, and you see the shame that they think. It's like, wow.
Because they have a stereotype in their mind of what they think that looks like.
Absolutely. And they don't, unfortunately, they don't know how to react.
Yes.
And just the fact that people have a stereotype, that causes stigma.
It's a stigma, exactly.
It does.
But you're doing so much work and training others. The reason why I felt like, of course, I wanted you to share your story, but even in my industry, TDLR has equipped us to be able to acknowledge that human trafficking exists and the things to watch out for. If you would please just kind of, because it's such a pervasive subject and we can no longer afford to sweep it up under the rug because people's lives, as you know, livelihoods and everything is at stake. Can you share just some of the things that a normal person would maybe look for with someone or a scenario or something that they may be aware of?
Oh, absolutely. We've come across different situations.
Yes.
When a parent, we work a lot with families. Families know that we do this. They'll contact us. And we've had, my child she misses periods in school, but she goes back to school. And so that's one thing. Unfortunately, traffickers, also known as pimps,
Yeah.
traffickers will take the child because they're under the age of 18.
Yes.
They'll take them from the school. They'll go take them away from where
Sometimes
they should
across
be.
straight lines. Sometimes.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And so they do what they're doing.
Yes.
And so bring the child back to the house or to the house or the school.
Yes.
In a lot of the cases we work, the child is being taken out from the school because the parents have no idea. And sometimes they will have an extra cell phone.
Yes.
It's like, it's my friend's, it's my friend's, it's my friend's phone. Or they will have change of clothes during the day. They'll take a backpack to school. And a lot of the work in schools is electronic. So a lot of schools now, they have the workbooks that are on the computer.
Yes.
So for a child to have a lot of books in their backpack, it's just not.
Yes.
Back in my day, we did that.
But now, not so much.
No, yeah. So, and also just the moods, change of moods, a lot of aggression, anger, isolation. They'll tend to isolate themselves.
Yes. Yeah.
So look for different things like that. And they don't have money, but they're going out on the weekends to get their nails done, their hair fixed.
Yes.
So there are different signs, and even appetite changes if they're taking drugs.
Yes.
Got to look out for the appetite and the mood, the aggression and the mood swings.
There's so much that parents have the responsibility to, but that's just what it means to be a parent, is to observe and have an open line of communication. And I would imagine when children are going through that, they're not wanting to talk.
No.
They're not wanting to discuss, because a lot of times they think these people love them.
Oh, absolutely.
They think these people are taking care of them. They think so many things that we as adults know not to be true. We know to be the contrary. But it's in how you talk to them, and then getting resources. So would there be any resources? If I were a parent of a child and I have an idea that this is something that my child may be dealing with, and I really want to be careful with how I go about doing that, are there any resources, anything that you would recommend?
Yes, actually.
Okay.
I use the material from the Polaris Project.
Okay.
It's online. They have a website.
Okay.
They have pamphlets. Okay. They also have resources, phone numbers, and different languages.
Okay. Wow.
And the Polaris Project, that's Polaris.
Okay.
Project.
Polaris. Okay.
Yeah. And you can find them online. They're the best ones. They're, what I say, parent-friendly.
Okay.
And they're able to go there, download information, and I've actually been able to talk to different people that have used their resources and brought them to their schools, their kids' schools. Okay. So
getting the school involved, because if you're taking my child from the school, then there's a problem. There's a lot of, the chain of command. I'm entrusting you to take care of my child. So, yes, that's good that the parents get the school involved. Yes,
get them involved. And I would love to see more parents looking into these type of awareness websites that they can actually get the schools involved.
But a lot of times people don't think, oh no, not my child.
Oh my gosh.
And a lot of times, your child. Just be proactive. It may not even be your child. It may be, what happened to the village, raises a child. Even if it's not yours, just to be able to help. Now, you spoke about ACEs briefly. We got a few minutes. Would you kind of just give a little precursor of what ACEs is and how that kind of goes into effect, just briefly?
Oh, yeah. So at one of the conferences, I had the honor to meet Dr. Vincent Felitti. He's a creator of the ACEs, which is Adverse Childhood Experiences. And the CDC has actually expanded it to include other aspects of what is happening in our society right now to impact children and more trauma. Trauma. That. And so what it is it's and it is a quiz. You can find it online. It's from 1 through 10, and it actually measures your level of trauma.
Yes.
So it's interesting to know that we can say the average American will score at least 1 ACE.
Yeah.
But when you get to 1 in 6 scoring more than 4, that's major.
Yeah, that is.
And that's what we see are currently in our society. There's so much trauma
and people
out
aren't
there.
speaking about it. There's so much stigma attached to it once again.
Yeah.
And you're helping me to understand, which we'll maybe expound on another session, how ACEs is even prevalent in my studies and what I'm doing. We're working with people.
Yes.
You know, some special person gifted me with a book, but the body does keep score.
Yes. The body keeps score.
The things that happen to us, sometimes it doesn't resonate on a level to where we're conscious of it, but subconsciously, your body registers what happens to you. And so, I mean, it's just such a phenomenal subject matter. And the work that you're doing, you and your partner, helping people, no one would know what you've been through. But the fact that you're willing to be transparent and allow your story to minister and heal so many people is just absolutely wonderful. So we'll have a few minutes left, actually a minute and a half. But I know there's going to be someone, Lorena, who wants to contact you, learn a little bit more about what you do. Can you please give us your phone number, website, email, whatever you have for folks that be able to contact you.
So you can find me on LinkedIn under Lorena P Frey, and you can contact me there, message me there. And if you do put my name on Google, it comes across many different platforms. Most of those are me. And you'll see the immigration diagnostic evaluations.
Yes.
My husband and I, we work in that platform to help refugees that have been trafficked across borders.
So we're going to leave that for now, but I just want to thank you again for being a part of the show today. And I want to thank you for tuning in to the Main Health Show. And as always, until next time, take care and be blessed.